to start like what everybody else did and just thank Candace for just doing what you did. And when you contacted me in 2006, Stacy had only passed away like a year ago, and so I was in like a fog, and when she talked about her vision for the Myocarditis Foundation, just by talking to her, I knew that it was going to be like this. And my prayer is just that it's a lot more, that this room is like quadrupled in not 5 years, but next year. And the part about going on and just donating as much as you can, even, you know, your $10 a month, every little bit helps. And that's like really, really important with foundations like the myocarditis, because everybody donates to the American Heart Association. It's just like, well, let's just give all our money to this just big pool of wherever and let them decide. And I like to be in the decision-making role, where it's like, I want to decide exactly where my money is going to go to for research. So I think that was really cool. And then Sue is just amazing doing the Facebook page, where we have over 500 members. It's really sad to say that we have that many members, but again, I'm thankful that we do, because back in 2005 when Stacy passed away, I knew 2 people, and I found them through the internet, and I just randomly would somehow get their phone numbers, and I talked to 1 or 2 people, and that was it. So I didn't have any support, and now it's like I have friends and family, and I don't even talk to them about myocarditis, because I talk to all you guys, and I read the page, and I see the symptoms of people that are survivors and how they're constantly going through and having to get sick. Do I get a flu shot? Do I do this? And sometimes I'm thankful that Stacy didn't survive, because it's so difficult what all these survivors go through. So it's such a roller coaster of grief, as all you guys know. All right, so I really struggled at what to say. I've done a lot of speeches, but a lot of them have been Christian-based, and since we're all like from different religion backgrounds, I'm going to not normally do my normal speech that I normally do. But when I was talking to everybody over the last 12 hours or 24 hours, I realized that we're all from different places. We all come from different states. We all come from different counties, different backgrounds, different religion backgrounds, different occupations, but we're all here for one reason, and that's to cure myocarditis. And that is to bring awareness, so we just don't have to have someone that just passes away like within the last 6 months. I mean, that is the most heartbreaking thing, is to see that even a few months ago someone passed away, and we just have to eliminate that. And it was like in Australia, right? You know, one in Australia that just, so I mean, it's just not right. But listening to you guys talk about how difficult it is to diagnose it, and there's like 15 different myocarditis parts, I'm like, holy cow, no wonder. You know, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. So, and the only way to find that needle in the haystack is money. It's the only way to do it. And with budget cuts and funding cuts and things like that, every little bit helps. Talked all about that. Another thing is, I'm really thankful for Facebook and the internet, because that has allowed all of us to do that. And also YouTube, which is something I haven't really gotten into yet. But I think with YouTube, we can get into the social media, like have your speech that you had here, which I thought was amazing, put that on YouTube and just start having myocarditis things, and then we can link and get the awareness out, because I think kids and people with phones now, that's all they're on. And if we could just reach out to that group, I think that will be amazing as far as finding a cure. So I'm going to tell you about Stacy. Let me go to her website. We have a nonprofit organization in memory of Stacy that we established, and that's the only reason that I have made it through where I am today is because of her nonprofit. Stacy was a cheerleader at Timber Creek High School, and here in Orlando, on the east side of town, there was 4,000 students in the school. And she was a cheerleader, and she had back issues just for 5 or 6, 7 months. So I wouldn't stop. I'm like, we're going here, we're going here, we're going there. So we went everywhere. And she had MRIs done, she had x-rays of her, but everything was focused on her back. And this was 9 months prior to her passing away. And so we went there in January to get all the x-rays done. They said come back in a few months, so we went back in March. We actually went back 4 days before she died. We went to the Jewett Clinic, and that's a well-known clinic here in the Central Florida area. And they said they wanted to see her back, and I'm like, well, she's just really tired. And they're like, well, you'll have to go see your regular doctor for that, because we don't think anything with her back has to do with her being tired. And we had also, a week earlier, gotten a puppy, Gizmo, and we had taken him to the vet, and she was real tired. And we went in and saw Dr. Adderman, and he did a series of blood work. It was like 2 weeks before. And then we went in and saw him, and she had a rash on the back of her hand to the point where it was bleeding. And this was a week before, and I was out of town, so I didn't realize that the rash was that bad. Well, when we got to the doctor's office, the rash wasn't that bad anymore, it wasn't bleeding. And so he's examining her, and I told her about the rash, and he's like, well, you know, that's probably just a skin infection, we'll get to that. And he just did his normal, let's get blood work, and let's do this and stuff. Well then, Thursday we went to Thursday we went to the Jewett Clinic, and when I went to pick her up to school to take her to the Jewett Clinic, she had to walk across campus. And she told me, Mom, I feel like I just ran to 880. And she didn't say, Mom, my chest hurt, I had chest pains, because then I would have known. But she's like, I'm like, well, of course you feel like you just ran to 880. You got up at 5:30 this morning, you had your Bible study, you cheerlead, you do all this, no wonder you're tired. You know, and I said, so hopefully we'll find what's wrong with you. And then so on Friday morning, she went to school, and the school called me and said that she was hyperventilating, and she drove. She was 16, so she had a car. So I'm like, well, if she feels good enough, have her drive home, otherwise I'll come get her. Well, I found out later that someone had to help her to her car, and she drove home. Thank God it was only like 1.5 miles or 2 miles through the neighborhood. But I mean, that was a crime right there. But she didn't find that out until afterwards. And then so she told me that she had to wake her up in an hour because she had a test. So she wanted to take the test. And I'm like, okay, honey. And then she stayed home all day, and Friday night she came, a friend of hers came over because she started feeling better. And they went to go out, and she started getting that wave again of not feeling right. And so that's when her friend came over, and we're like, you have like some sort of virus. We don't want to get near you. So we like quarantined her. And I said, just kind of, we don't want to get sick, because Kevin was 12. And when you have a stomach virus, that is the most, I don't know, contagious type thing ever. I mean, everybody that has a stomach virus, if you're even like 5 feet from them, you get it. And then so on Saturday, she woke up, she was feeling better, and we went to, she wanted to have a wedding that she wanted to go to, so we took her to a wedding, and she was telling me random things like her eye sockets were hurting, and her ankles were hurting, and she had a ringworm on her arm, so it was just various things, and now I realized that it was heart failure, and because she had vomiting and diarrhea. And then so I called Dr. Adderman on Saturday, and he said, well, maybe you should take her to the emergency room, because it sounds like something is wrong. So instead of the emergency room, we went to a walk-in clinic. It was about 4 o'clock, we went to the walk-in clinic, and the walk-in clinic, they were trying to get her blood pressure. And it was hard to get. They had a couple different people trying to get her blood pressure. Finally, they got her blood pressure, and there was not a confrontation, but a discussion between the doctor and the person that got the blood pressure. And they said, well, we've got the reading, and well, do you have it or don't you? And mother intuition, I was like, ooh, but I didn't act on it. And so then I said, well, you know, it's just a stomach virus, and they gave her a shot, and we went home. And Sunday morning, she woke up, she said, Mom, I can't feel my fingers or my toes. Because she called me, because she was upstairs, and we had the intercom thing, and I had to come up and get her and physically walk her. And she said, Mom, call someone. I'm like, oh no, honey, you're fine, because she did not look sick. She looked like, you know, she just was pale and with a virus, you know, a sickness. And I drove her to the emergency room, and as I was parking the car, they wheeled her back, and I brought her into the wheelchair, and as I was parking the car, she quit breathing. And then we tried to find the quiet room, and it turned out that she had quit breathing, but they brought her back. And then when I walked back there, she had quit breathing again. And no one told us like anything that how severe it was. And I think that was the big cure, or the big problem was because nobody knew in the hospital what it was. And Dr. Adderman did show up, and then they tried to revive her for 45 minutes to an hour and a half, and she never came back. But they knew right up after, as soon as she died, they said, we suspect myocarditis, viral myocarditis. And they never asked me if we wanted to donate our organs. And so I know we've talked a lot, but nobody's talked about donating organs, being an organ donor. And I don't know if they didn't, I think they just forgot to ask me. And so that's another thing I think would be good to find out with research is, can we donate organs if you have it, or shouldn't they, or something like that. That might be. So what we've done since Stacy passed away is I started a website, and what I did is, this is a page in her journal, because she got up and journaled every day at 5:30 in the morning. She was rebaptized. She was accepted Christ when she was 15 and rebaptized when she was 16. And so she would journal. And we created a web page like a journal, so every tab talks about the different phases of her life. And the myocarditis page is where and this was a long time ago, like this was like 6 years ago. I haven't updated the page in a while. But when Candace called me, all I knew what to do at that time was put her information on the page. And she wrote a book too, right? And so this is where I think a lot of people in this room found Candace. And it's just to me an act of God that happened that way. Because I just think that he is using Stacy in such a unique way, because she prayed for a unique ministry. And I think outside of Christianity, I think a ministry could be anything. And I think this is a ministry. And it's a unique one. So, I mean, like, it's just unbelievable how her story is being used